Hello, friends, and a very, very good afternoon, and welcome to the Pep Talk once again, and after a long time. Friends, reason of my absence was I was a little caught up with some work, so it needs some research and some effort to make videos. So, since I got some time, I'm back again just for all of you. And I hope you will watch this entire video and like it and share it and also comment on it. And if suitable, definitely message me as well. So, friends, what's going to be the topic for today's video? Friends, I've thought of a new series where I will talk about personal effectiveness training program. So, this is all about the corporates who want to develop their employees or people who want their self development. So, in this aspect, I think personal effectiveness is something which involves a lot of subjects. So, I've added change management to goal setting to time management to stress and anger management, and also added a bit of first time managers. So, I've put in a lot of different modules, created a entire effectiveness module, and today I'm going to just give a little demo of that. So let me share my screen with you because I do have a presentation ready. Right. So as you see, I'm calling it personal effectiveness program. So I already told you what all are involved or the ingredients in this. So I'm talking about first about change management, because before we want to understand that why we need to learn, why we need to develop ourselves, and what is this personal effectiveness or personal excellence, whatever you call it. Change is a major factor, because as I keep posting also, that in this very dynamic environment and every day there are changes in technology, changes in business scenarios, changes in regulations, softwares. It is important to manage change well, not just for the organizations, but for the individuals also. Ultimately, this is going to drive them towards not just survival, but success. So I have done a lot of research, and in the next few videos, I think I should be in a position to come up with examples also of organizations which have not really managed change to some extent, and the results, is something that is better if less spoken about. So there is a definite relationship between comfort zone and change that has been seen in product development, in organizational structures, in business scenarios. Simulations that we have done in real training rooms also have proven that people or organizations or teams or departments, whatever you call it, typically go into this comfort zone when the businesses are doing well. And if that carries for a long period, there is a risk of changing. So people don't take that risk. And then, managing change becomes a really uphill task. So we need to understand that somewhere down the line, for success and survival in this fluid environment, we have to understand that the change and how to come out of this comfort zone, that if you are in, then you understand that this is not going to be forever. If I come from my right to left, then you can see that there are typically four kinds of people. People who lag behind because they don't come out of their comfort zone. Then there are people who are in this comfort zone and feel that they're doing good, or organizations. You can take, or departments, adopters, people who have already started adopting, organizations who have already started adopting. Like you see the hybrid technology, or the kind of flex engines that are built in Brazil, or the integrated artificial intelligence built up vehicles. Also, people are planning cities with which has safety for driverless vehicles as well. So I think they fall under people who are already adopting organizations and nations and economic zones, whatever you call it. Then we call the innovators, people who innovate, like say the facial recognition systems, where you can actually transfer money, not just to click a QR code or something, but actually just by your face. So that is changing the dynamics of monetary transactions across Central and Southeast Asia mainly, and partly in the USA as well. So how actually this can be done? Flexibility is one of those criterias. Progressive thinking, you know, doesn't need mention. Creative mindset, again, if you relate my previous uh, talk or example, you will feel that, and the sense of urgency, because people understand that this is the right time or before time. So these four things have to be there. I can give you examples of companies: Nokia, BlackBerry, Yahoo, Ambassador, Hindustan Motors. BlackBerry is a classic example. BlackBerry is a classic example. If you have time, do research on that. I will come up with a video on that. Now we talk about goal setting. That is important uh, for organizations as well as for employees and teams and leadership groups. Goals are important, and setting goals in a structured manner, specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, or realistic, and time bound. Again, we can go deep into it. Since this is a demo video, I'm just keeping it short. But see the bigger picture. These are steps what you can take towards that, and small action equals to big changes. Follow that concept. Uh, Systemize formula, because it has to be a progressive and something that has to be like a process. And check progress, because that has to be seen how much goal has been attained and what needs to be done, and ensure an end data, that what actually happened throughout the project, or the interaction or the business deal, etc. Time management, again, it's important because it contributes to various factors like stress, productivity, quality of work, and so on and so forth. So this is an important aspect as well. And when we talk about time management, we talk about 80-20 rule. And you must have seen that 80% effort gives more result, a lesser result than 20% effort gives more result. So what I mean to say is, when you actually follow the 80-20 rule, it says that even 20% uh, uh, effort can give maximum result, and when you put 80% effort in the wrong direction, it does not give that same kind of effect. So it's not the amount of time you're spending, it's the quality of time you're spending. So we are also talking about because this is a personal effectiveness program, so dynamically changing virtual interactions and demands leads to leading teams remotely. It's an aspect that people have to work on and develop the different areas of leadership. Here you can see how this has progressed and what it is going to be. You can do some research. Again, I'll try and bring some data on this later on. Why remote leadership? I mean, I don't have to explain this because you are already in this zone right now. Tools, yes, of course. You have to adapt, again, change with change, and manage change, adapt to change with the technology around. That's important, and it's not so simple as we think. Do's and don'ts for this is particularly for remote leadership. Again, if you're doing micromanagement, that causes stress, and I think delegation and trust plays an important role here. Again, we can talk about delegation a separate video altogether. Some do's and don'ts, again, we know this, we can feel these things. There has to be a process, but not overdo it, basically. Video conferencing, again, this is not a joke and a simple process. It needs effort, it needs a lot of practice, and I think that people really haven't put in that effort to really come up with great video conferencing skills yet. So I think there is room for working on that. People who believe that will be back to work, yes, you will be back to work, but I think both these aspects are going to play an important role in your activities going forward. So again, managing your team and stuff. So there, I mean, typically I can talk about a lot of things. So how to motivate team while working virtually, it's a difficult task. So engagement is the word here, and again, I can make a separate video on this. Expectations are the spoilers, man. I mean, you need to set the expectation from both ends, right? Especially for first time managers, very, very important. Very, very important. Motivating again is important. Keep motivating your team, keep developing your relationship. That's important. Then we talk about tools like skills. EQ and empathy plays very important role in dealing and working